tell us, so because of COVID, especially developing economies are affected worse, right? How do you think they should bounce back?
Sir, the most important thing to bounce back in COVID in the immediate run will be to vaccinate as many people as possible, so that because COVID spreads the way an economy does, by human contact. So it's first to make sure that the human contact is safe by vaccinating as many people as possible. After that, investing in structures that will make the economy more resilient through greater fiscal transfers, through reducing inequality, like say investing in more education and health, which help in building human capital so that we are resilient for the future. Also increasing formalization of the economy, so that when any such crisis happens, we can tend to the people who are the most vulnerable in any society, through say direct benefit transfers or anything, and investing in infrastructure, be it social infrastructure like education and health, or say physical infrastructure like say technology or roads and everything. These are important because these have massive multiplier effects as well. So I think these are the three key steps that we need as any developing country to bounce back from the COVID crisis.
Okay. So why has it been difficult to formalize Indian economy? So still we largely depend on the informal sector. So why is it so difficult to formalize?
So one reason is the historical legacy, because a massive part of the Indian economy is unorganized, so it takes time to move towards that. But we are making progress. So I think around 10 years ago, around 90% of the economy was in the unorganized sector. It's now down to 80% right now, but that's still a massive number. But still, the challenges remain that these informal enterprises don't have the capacity to enter the formal structure, because it requires, say, better accounting systems, better technical competence, and say compliance with laws, which is the primary reason why they choose to stay out of the organized net, because the compliance with laws is quite a cumbersome process in India. But the government is taking steps through say compiling the labor laws in 4 separate codes, so that it becomes easier for them to formalize. Also, the GST is a very good step in helping them formalize, because now the larger enterprises which these smaller enterprises work, it pays them to include them within the GST and the small enterprises, so that they can claim the input tax credit. Otherwise, they won't be able to do that. So I think these are the steps that are being taken. But yes, the challenge is quite formidable.
Okay, so what are the other measures required apart from GST and labor codes? Again, labor code is in limbo, like it is not happening. So what are the other measures apart from these two that are required?
So I think one is that the government, through its contribution during the Atmanirbhar Rozgar Protsahan Yojana, it started paying a part of the insurance contribution, the ESI contribution and the PF contribution. So that helped these enterprises, become a part of these nets, so that and pass on the benefits to their employees. They were not doing it previously, because they thought that it was too expensive for them to, pay the share of these employees. So that's one measure, that greater government contribution to the social security nets is a good measure. So I was reading this data on the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Bima Yojana and Suraksha Bima Yojana. So these have different premiums. So the Jeevan Bima Yojana has a premium of 330 rupees annually, and the Suraksha Bima Yojana has a premium of nearly 12 rupees. So the number of participants in that is markedly different. So the Suraksha Bima Yojana, because of the low premium, has 21 crore participants within the informal sector, and the Jeevan Bima Yojana has merely 9 crore participants. So we can see that if the government lowers the premium on this, so that's a self-sustaining mechanism. If you lower the premium, greater number of people participate, and that further lowers the premium by the simple economics of insurance. So I think this is one key measure that the government can take to subsidize formalization.
What about Skill India mission? So do you think does it have any impact on this?
So Skill India mission is a very important requirement, because we need good skilled people for our manufacturing to take off, but it's not had the kind of impact that it should have, because the placement is not very good in Skill India right now. So we need better linkages of the program of Skill India with the companies. So I think a program like, say, having a website which allows people, like the government started doing during the COVID pandemic, creating a database of all the people in the economy, the different skills they have, and then allowing even the smallest of enterprises to choose from them. I think that needs to be scaled up much more nationally, so that we can link the Skill India program to placement, for that to have much more impact.
Okay, so let us assume that you clear this exam and get IAS. In your district, if you have to skill people, let us assume that again there are so many unskilled people in your district. So what kind of measures will you take?
So I've been thinking about this actually. So the Narega platform is a very good platform that we have. So I was thinking that we can use the Narega platform. So in the 100 days that a family gets from Narega, we can earmark say 15 to 20 days that they will come get skilled, and the government will still pay them wages for those days. And then that skill will serve two benefits. A, we'll get more human resources. B, it will also help us create better assets in Narega, which has been a problem. But more importantly, it will create incentives for these people to continue to work in Narega, because they will be continue to get paid for those days. A key reason that skilling programs don't work is because people have to choose between say giving up their wages for that day and going to get skilled in the say
So
Kaushal Vikas
what
scheme.
are the skills you have in your mind to
So
use Narega platform?
yeah, so major skills, like if you are using the Narega platform, will be say masonry, plumbing, electricity works. These are the primary skills that we can start with. Once we have say the program takes off, then we can move to say higher order skills like say computer mechanics or say mobile repairing. So these are the skills that we can gradually scale up with. And then also, so there is an IAS officer in Malda, Naveen Chandra. He is training girls in coding. So I think coding can also for some semi-literate people say who have say passed class 10th or 12th, we can, if it's possible, we can look into that, whether we can impart some basic coding skills also to them.
So what about post skilling process? How will you make them of course they'll be employable through skills, but how will you create employment?
I think there's a good example of how Reliance did it in Jamnagar. So when Reliance was setting up its petrochemicals factory, that entire complex in Jamnagar, it started training all these people itself, because there was no such skilled supply of labor. And then that created a self-sustaining pool of because there were skilled labor, industries automatically started coming in. So in my home state of Jharkhand and Odisha as well, so there's this deficit that we don't have enough skilled labor in these kind of things. So once we impart these skills, and we see that yes, they are creating assets through Manrega, we'll see more and more industries coming in. Of course, this cannot be a one-way process. We'll also have to work on other mechanisms of inviting the industry to invest there. So so that these skills can be tangibly realized.
Okay, how many mock interviews you have given so far?
So this is the second one.
Okay. So did you try to work on any feedback given in the last mock?
Yes, sir. I was told that I speak very quickly. The speed of my speaking is fast, and I don't take enough pause before the question is after the question is asked to think upon it. So I try to change that. I don't know if I've been able to correct that adequately. So these are the two primary feedbacks that I received.
Speed is okay because you have I think many points to contribute, so the speed is fine. I think pause, I think little pause you were taking. Okay, so pause actually helps. Okay, in the sense that when somebody asks you a question and you pause and think a bit, it makes them feel better, the person who has asked question. Okay, also it gives you time to organize your points.
Yes.
What I noticed is like overall you were very good, excellent. So I think even with this kind of interview performance, you'll easily get 200 plus. So you'll easily get 200 plus. So there is no you're not going to get less than that. You are able to make very mature arguments, so that they really love about you. So my guess is that it will be like 209 something, your marks. 209 plus. I've written like 209 plus here. You are already good in whatever you have here. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you.